On this week's episode, we discuss how pilots are the law over international waters.
Mm-hmm. And sweat.
That and much, much more, all on today's Murder We Spoke. Guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Ben.
I'm Melissa.
Which is the first time we've introduced ourselves on this podcast. So if you didn't come over from the Pretty Little Liars podcast, you might just think like we're just rubes who don't know how things work.
Kind of still are. Even though I've been doing a podcast for over a year. It's fine.
Whatever. I'm Ben. She's Melissa.
We don't need any introductions.
Yeah. Marissa's not here. There's usually a third voice.
Yeah.
But
with a similar name as to Melissa, just to confuse everyone.
Yeah. So,
that's good.
There we go. Now we've gotten that out of the way. We don't have to introduce ourselves ever again. Well, today we're discussing season 3 episode of Murder, She Wrote, episode 12, entitled The Corpse Flew First Class.
First Class.
Which is one of the better titles, I think.
Yeah. I think it was a little misleading because I have to be honest, I found this episode kind of boring. Comparatively.
Okay.
Did you? I mean, it was on a plane, so it was like that was kind of drama, but
it wrapped. I feel like it was a very simple setup.
Yeah. And
then like it took the last half of the episode to explain everything that you saw because it was not nearly as simple as you thought.
That's true. I mean, that was the thing. I felt like there was lots of cutaway to stock footage of a plane flying, as well as we watched some of their in-flight movie with them,
which was
with no sound.
So great.
So, like,
it was, yeah, but that is kind of like the Murder, She Wrote thing. Like, on one episode we watched her make a sandwich. Like, on this one, we watched her waiting for the bathroom, but it all comes back.
Well, do you think the in-flight movie, you had a theory?
No, not a theory. I just as a cute little aside.
Adorable.
It was just an adorable little aside. But it was all the stuff we saw of the movie they were watching was car chase scenes. Uh-huh. And we saw Jessica's disapproving look. Mm-hmm. And for the show Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury said Jessica will not own a car for one simple reason. She doesn't want that there to even be the possibility that there will be a high-speed car chase because she hates them so much.
That's amazing.
So as she's watching this, Hollywood movie on her flight, she's watching with such disdain. She just can't. And then that movie ended with a car, I wonder if it was from a real movie, like almost falling off of a bridge.
Yeah.
And then the end. Because all movies end with the end.
The end. Well, in the 80s.
Maybe they did, but they certainly, like, if you almost survived a car crash, like you did survive a car crash, there'd be like the little thing, it was a very... it was just a very...
Ben was more invested into the in-flight movie than...
That fake movie, just had a shit ending, and you know what? I can't get over it.
I'm sorry, I just got excited to... I'm going to talk about it on air instead of ask if you did any preparation, because I never prepare. But are we going to play what was the top 10 TV shows in 1986 or 7?
We certainly can. I have it prepped on the sheet on my computer at work, which is where I do all my prep work for my podcast. Okay. But we've been so busy lately, like at work. I know
we've actually had to do work at work these days.
Had to do work. It's been awful. It's been the single worst.
Yeah.
But I did have it on there, but I just have my old one. I have a computer right in front of me, so if you want to play it.
All right, I might have to, because I just got excited to win again. Against myself.
Against yourself. Competing against no one today.
Against no one.
Oh, and bonus, I just remembered from looking at my sheet, we bought the Murder, She Wrote cookbook, which is a thing.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna drop in at the end of this episode our very first review of a recipe that we made from the Murder, She Wrote cookbook. Couldn't say that.
No.
That was first day with words. It's a little tough.
Okay.
And we made meatballs, but we'll drop it in at the end.
I really want to give you credit though, Ben. I'm apparently also having a stroke.
First day with our new mouse, you guys. It's pretty rough.
Oh, God. But he says we, but he made them. And then made Marissa and I try them.
Yeah, and then made you eat them. So,
but still, thank you for doing those things and preparing for this podcast. Whereas I just show up diva style.
So you guys have that to look forward to later.
Yeah, get excited. You should make these recipes at home. I think
maybe we should. This one, spoiler alert, you don't want to make it home.
Because it'll make like a ton, like a large serving size, and then they'll just sit in your refrigerator for a month.
Yeah, literally, you guys we did this over a month ago, made this recipe, tried it, and just recorded a little thing and kept forgetting to drop it into the episodes as we were doing them. Finally remember today, which is why I finally took what was left, aka we each ate one, and the rest went uneaten. It just took them, a month ago, took them out, pristine condition, by the way.
No mold.
I don't know what was in there, like what kind of chemical is preventing the mold, but they were, you easily could have thrown them in the
tomato sauce or whatever.
Is cranberry sauce like just
It's like formaldehyde for meat.
It is exactly that.
I don't know, meat doesn't mold that quickly. Okay, we don't need to talk about meat molding. We have not talked about the show.
Welcome back to the meat molding podcast.
And I just want to say, we, have our other podcast, our other show, Pretty Little Liars, which if you're not watching, you should start immediately. It's on Netflix. Is back from hiatus, as well as work being taking it up a notch, aka doing work.
AKA actually having
to do work at work. So we haven't had time to do a lot of these episodes, and our fans in South Africa have let us know.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, how could we forget?
So we just want to say thanks for listening, and we hope that curing AIDS is going well.
And TB, don't forget, they're curing
and
TB.
Tuberculosis, yeah. And you're welcome for us helping you do that.
By talking about...
By sitting in our, living room.
Yeah, we can't promise that they're going to be weekly episodes. We're not willing to go that far, but we're going to do what we can. And South African friends, you guys should watch Pretty Little Liars and listen to that, because there's like a shit ton of back episodes you can go back to.
There you go. And then you can,
for some reason, enjoy the sound of our voices that much, which I can't imagine why you do.
Sounds great. We're so good at talking and saying the right words.
As we've proven today. This is flawless so far.
Oh, man.
Okay, so to kick it off, let's see. I think I'm going to go and try the 30-second. I'm not even going to pull out the timer, mainly because I don't know where my phone is.
Oh, I have a phone in front of me.
But I think this one's going to be quick. If you want to time me, you can.
Okay.
But I think...
You're going to try and do a 30-second recap.
What we do, at the beginning here is...
Ooh, timer?
Are you just discovering the timer on your iPhone?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, but I don't... What's radar? Anywho, stopwatch. Okay. I'll just do stopwatch, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, am I good?
I'm learning technology and how to speak today.
Okay.
Go.
On today's episode, Jessica, Flight to London, Kate Mulgrew, celebrity / monarchy woman. I don't know what she does. Jewels are stolen. Guy gets murdered. Jessica has to figure it out. Scotland Yard guy is there and did it. Okay, that's it. That's good.
That was 23 seconds.
Maybe we should cut this down to 20 seconds and really put the pressure on.
I think we should. Also, I was really confused because I thought you were like saying what or who Kate Mulgrew was like in real life, and I was like,
well, on the
monarch? What are you, butterfly?
She does look like a monarch. Like she should be a queen of some country.
She's in
some Eastern European.
No, but I think she's just a socialite, right?
Is that what it was? Because they were. Because she even made that joke. She's like, Madonna's out of the country. Someone has to be shot.
Yeah. And by shot, she meant photography.
Yeah, because that's...
paparazzi. Well, no, because I think the Scotland Yard guy says something also like, oh, there's not just air... Like something like fancy airs in our country either. Like, I love your country. You guys have crazy socialites too.
It's our version of royalty, which...
Yeah.
Has sadly progressed like to the fucking Kardashians these days. But...
Yeah, I feel like she's like a classier... Like, I'm trying to think, like Paris Hilton comes to mind, but probably, like, her family has money... Like, if Paris Hilton wasn't trash.
We're looking at her, who she is ultimately the villain of the piece.
Yeah.
Longingly, like, oh, if only our celebrities could be as classy as this murderer.
Sorry, spoiler, whatever. She is, like, all white.
She looks...
And, like, fur capes.
Oh, my God. Just fantastic. Right. She looks... And again, even during the episode, I was like, how come... Kate Mulgrew was not like a huge celebrity. I feel like she should have been a movie star.
I'm thinking about this though. Like, think about all the like CW and like Pretty Little Liars shows. Like, yes, those shows can have a cult following, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not huge actors, and they're very beautiful.
True, but
do you know what I'm saying?
I do, but I also feel like Kate Mulgrew can bring it on the acting front, though. Like, she had like a very unique look. She wouldn't have been playing like a leading lady. She would have been like a villain.
She would have been a Bond girl, like a good Bond girl.
She would have been a great Bond girl, like something like that. She wouldn't have been leading lady. She could have played like villain. I see her like being the villain in some stuff.
Yeah,
but she could have been like a name, but like because she can act. She's got the chops.
But I wonder because if it's just that she's been kind of like steadily acting for a while. Because on Orange Is the New Black, you need to watch that show also if you're not watching it. She plays Red now.
Yes,
and I noticed on the credits they say with Kate Mulgrew.
So she's got a little bit of
she's got a little
she's got the gravitas for that show. Okay. And she was the first female captain on a Star Trek show.
Oh yeah, duh, that's her.
So that's where.
So that's probably where. Yeah.
When was that? Maybe that was that like in the 90s? I don't even know when that show was.
Because I would say that's. I mean,
Maybe
that's the same. Like she went. Yeah, that's fairly famous. But yeah, she looks great in this, and yeah, she's an American socialite. So they're all well, I guess it starts. We see she's getting this necklace out of her Dropbox. And by Dropbox, I mean safety deposit box. That was weird. And also, we find out that she's like banging the bodyguard.
Chauffeur/bodyguard.
Yeah.
Who's not get someone attractive. He looks like he's easily like the old British dude. The old was far more attractive. 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm banging the old British dude.
Yeah.
Because this guy was like very angular face, overly skinny, tall and lanky.
I think they were trying to make him look working class. Couldn't you see that? He looks like a chauffeur.
Yeah. Okay. He definitely sitting next to Kate Mulgrew, mismatched. They should not be.
She was slumming it. Yeah.
Totally slumming it.
So they all go to first class, though. They're getting on a flight, and Jessica is there.
Were you a little shocked that Jessica's flying first class?
I was.
They weren't, because I was too. I was like, I feel like it doesn't humanize Jessica to be up in first class, just sitting in the traveler's lounge, ordering sherries, eating shrimp puffs.
Yeah.
It's she's not exactly the everyone. She's supposed to be this substitute teacher from a small town in New England.
I thought there was going to be some kind of line that said, oh, they're putting me up in first class to do this research or something, but no.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing this for my book, and they just insisted I fly first class.
Right.
Or they recognized me when I checked in, and they gave me a free upgrade. Aren't they sweet?
Because she always just seems so oh no, don't bother with me or whatever.
Exactly.
And so yeah, it was a little, but I did like her dress again, killing it with that dress.
The dress was pretty good, that kind of the big red neck, a little brooch action.
She knows that's her color.
Nice
she looks good in it. But yeah, she's in first class. All these the cast of characters is revealed.
We are very quickly. Some of them literally we just screen on the camera on their face, 2 seconds, pan away.
Yeah.
And then we see the old couple.
There's a weird couple.
Chubby woman with a horrible wig.
It was awful.
It was. I wonder what her. Anyway,
real hair was like.
It was
a
horrific wig.
Yeah.
That were acting suspicious.
Yeah.
Mr. Takagi from Die Hard was there.
I don't know who that is, but it's fine.
Have you seen Die Hard?
Yeah, at some point in my life.
Okay, he's the guy that is it Takagi Towers? He's the guy that ran the place where.
Is he the Asian guy?
Yeah, that gets. Spoiler, shot in the face, in the first act.
Oh.
At the end of the first act.
I feel like that was his last name in this. What was his last name in this?
Sagara?
Okay, never mind. I'm racist.
Yeah, that's all.
It's
just
fine.
A little Asian racism. No big deal.
Yeah, it's great. Okay.
But yeah, we meet the cast of characters. The bodyguard throws a paparazzo out. Let's see, I'm trying
and
to
that's
think.
how Jessica bumps into this Scotland Yard guy who says he's been on vacation in America, been on holiday in America, and now Jessica's going on holiday.
I'm going on holiday there. Well, it's not really a holiday.
She's researching
a grisly
murder.
Quote, a grisly murder from the turn of the century.
The huge.
Yeah. But we do meet, before we get on the plane, we do meet the Hollywood producer.
Oh, yeah.
Who the writers obviously think very highly of producers because this guy was just a delight. But he's on the phone, talking loudly. He's like, when I was at Bobby De Niro's and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I got a call from Joan. Which Joan? Rivers or Collins? Oh, my wife? Oh, I love her too. It was just...
And he's wearing like button-up shirt that's like unbuttoned, deep V, gold chains.
Super hairy chest.
Yeah, just like it's classic.
Yeah, just...
Hollywood producer.
Yeah, not a lot of thought put in,
Yeah. So they all get on the plane, and I just feel like the first like 5 minutes on the plane are just folks riding a plane.
It really is. It's... First of all, like the guy pulls out his Walkman.
Yeah.
Because I've flown internationally a couple times. And
no big deal, you guys.
No big deal, whatever. I've flown
And
internationally first class. So, I can really speak to what's
Yeah.
going on right here. But if I had to fly first class before iPhones, iPads, before the little screen on the back of the seat where you got to pick your own movie, I would have gone insane. I don't know how you flew for 12 hours.
You had to have multiple tapes. And
multiple batteries in that, because how long does a couple double A's last on a Walkman? Hour and a half, 2 hours?
No way. It lasts way longer.
I feel like
you forget what. No,
I just haven't forgot. How long do they last?
They at least a flight. Batteries last longer than 2 hours, Ben. That's awful.
If you're playing a tape, I don't know. Like in a remote control, they somehow last a year and a half. But
fresh batteries, I think you're good to go. But I will say, like, his anger at his Walkman not working, I felt was definitely warranted, like, very justified.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I would have been like, whoa, like, got insane if my one source of entertainment.
It's like now you just gotta stare at the back of that chair
and watch
for 12 hours.
The only in-flight movie, yeah.
And if you've seen it already, if you didn't want to see it,
too bad.
Too fucking bad. They're going to pull the little screen down like you're in English class.
Yeah.
And they're going to project it on the screen and you're going to watch it. Because that's all you got.
Oh, man. Yeah, so this is the chauffeur guy, and he's super sweaty. He's the first of the sweaters. But he's a nervous flyer. You can turn the air on if you want. Sorry.
Oh, no. It's
I whispered like the mic wouldn't pick up. Then you can turn your air conditioning on.
Speaking of sweat, just a little bit.
Yeah, so we find out that tape, though, was supposed to be like a relaxation tape.
Yeah, that's why I'm so upset, because he's a nervous flyer. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I don't want to ruin the ending. Although, that's the thing, if I had to describe the ending, we just watched the episode, sat down, and started talking about it. If I had to beat for beat tell you how this crime was pulled off, it'd be a little difficult. Yeah. But that tape definitely factors in. I just can't remember. Anyway.
I remember. Do you want me to say it now?
Yeah, if you haven't watched the episode, I don't know why you're listening to this, so we're going to spoil it.
So, spoiler. Basically, Kate Mulgrew's character, Sunny is her name.
Okay.
Sunny tampers with the Walkman, gets it to not work, so that he's so freaked out that then he wants to take like a tranquilizer.
Okay.
The pills that she has, but it's actually poison. She poisons him.
So,
but I feel like, I just have to say, I feel like Jessica, when she's like just expositioning it, like telling us what happens, like it's not exposition. Like, she brings up, like, oh, I saw you bring the water, and then there was water there, and then there was more. And, like, I feel like the water is not integral to the, like, plot of her killing him.
Exactly.
But
like,
she
did bring up...
mentioned it, like, several times.
And if you noticed, we get to when the chauffeur dies.
Yeah.
And Jessica's looking at his fingernails.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I see the blue. In the episode itself, she's just like, oh, there's a blue tint. That means it's poison. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sure.
But
and every poison ever.
Every kind of poison you can imagine, if it'll kill a human. Rat poison. Blue fingernails. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. She, in the, Tonight on Murder, She Wrote, on that whole thing, they showed a close-up of his, like, literally like he dipped it in blue paint.
Yeah.
And then I wonder if they sent that to the guy, like, you need to cut together the coming up on, since that's our thing. And that's what 80s television is all about, telling you exactly what you're going to see. And then when they got to, like, editing the actual episode, they're like, you know what? This was a bit too much.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, that's true, because they don't.
Because they totally cut that out.
Yeah.
Which, like.
The close-up.
Yeah, they cut the close-up out, which made it so much better. I mean, not that blue fingernails is, like, even a thing, Jessica. I'm sorry. But at least we didn't see those. I literally, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, is there something going to be with the, the blue toilet water in an airplane? I thought it was going to be like, did he get his hand stuck in a toilet? Because they were crazy blue.
I thought at first it was like like, oh, they're gonna say he's been dead for a while, and he's like turned blue.
Oh, I mean that's
how, it was so blue.
That's how blue.
But then
it
I was like, and it's just like a crazy I don't know. It was very weird. No, just poison.
Good choice cutting that out of the actual episode because it was.
I'm really curious to see as it progressed, like once we get into the 90s in the show, if they stop doing that recap at the beginning.
I guess we'll just have to find out, won't we?
You know, don't you?
I don't actually.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Well, we're in season 3 and still going strong.
Still going strong. They will. Yeah, they let you know the first.
But we have 9 more seasons.
Solid minute. Oh, so great.
Oh my gosh.
So many more seasons, and then we get to come back around and do it all over again.
All over again.
Because if you guys didn't know, we're doing the 10 best episodes from each season, but we're just going to hit, one per season and kind of progress, so that way we're not like stuck in the 80s the whole time. We get to mingle in the 90s for a little bit and then come on back. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be so fun. Okay, so he's nervous, blah, blah, blah. Things are happening. I said, like, riding a plane, which is not a thing. They're flying.
They're flying. Riding a plane, I wouldn't call you out for saying riding a plane.
Riding on a plane.
That's what adults say to their kids, like, we're going to go ride on the big plane. I was literally flying home the other day, and that's what the mom said to the little girl to try and shut her up.
Really?
Yeah.
We're going to go ride on the plane? Okay.
We're going to go ride on the big plane.
Did it work? Did she?
Oh, no, that kid was a monster. No, it didn't work at all.
Sucks, yeah. Okay. So...
Let's see. I think so. Dude is dead.
Yeah. And just note, while Jessica's on the plane, though, like, just being a normal passenger, she's just got her eyes on everything. Just observing the shit out of everything that everyone is doing.
It is literally... I wish you watched The Americans, because it's what you just said reminds me of this latest season. It's not a spoiler, so I'll tell you, but they're training a dude, because on The Americans, they are KGB agents who are living as Americans. And they are training a kid, and part of his training is when... what's her name that stars in? I can't remember. Anyway.
Carrie Russell.
Mm-hmm. She's training him, and she'll just randomly that kid on the corner 2 blocks ago when you were walking here, what was he wearing? Was he So he basically had to memorize, just pick up every little... If something stuck out, you had to remember what it was.
Sure.
And I feel like Jessica full on took that training because she is so good.
She's not a spy, just an author.
Just a substitute teacher / author. But she still... knows as much as a goddamn KGB agent.
Yeah,
so.
It's fine. Okay. So yeah, then the guy is discovered dead.
Yeah. But first, before that, we see Kate Mulgrew, even having flown first class, you guys, I've never seen a plane that has, a third story. Or is it only the second?
I think it's the second. Just 2 stories.
Just for a bar.
Yeah.
Because I've flown and been on the second level while we were flying.
There's
nice. 12 chairs up there, all first class.
That's nice. And then the bottom is all...
Is all beneath us was still first class, but we were just... And we had our own stewardess, tended to our needs. It was
so nice.
Never went thirsty. She brought one. It was so great. Oh my God.
You guys, sounds wonderful.
I'm not low, it was points. It was airline points.
Yeah.
My boyfriend is travel points, so...
I wasn't judging you. I was just thinking of how glorious it sounds.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever fly coach again. Internationally, flying coach is the worst.
Yeah, I just think... Yeah, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to...
Especially, I'm over 5'10", and your knees are locked into the seat. It is so uncomfortable.
Being 5'10", myself,
It's a nightmare.
Yeah. Anywho. Fly first class.
Totally.
This podcast brought to you by Pan Am. Oh.
Oh, wah wah. Sorry, Pan Am.
That's the airline that they're flying.
Mm-hmm. So dude is dead, and this is when the episode really kind of picks up. Because you're right that the first 10 minutes of this 40 minutes, the first full quarter of this episode, is literally just people starting a vacation or heading home after a vacation. Yeah. It's really nothing more than that. There's nothing overtly suspicious or anything that happens in these first 10 minutes.
Except for the weird couple behind Sunny and the chauffeur.
Which was that I called my shot, just like I did previously, and I was wrong. I called that old couple. I was like, they're up to something. That woman's wearing a wig. She might actually be a man.
I feel like you should know at this point that the most obvious one, it's never that. It's never the obvious one.
I feel like they were trying to play it just subtle enough. I was like, I picked up on your subtle
they were crossing their fingers, and she was like...
No, but it was
and she was like, oh, why'd you get me into this, Bert? You and Bert.
I thought they were playing it like, she's a nervous flyer, so they're crossing their fingers. Most people are going to think that she's just a nervous flyer, but not me. I'm on to her game. She's got something to hide.
I mean, she did.
I was right that she had something to hide, so
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah.
She wasn't talking about, like, her and her husband and their, like, you know, their polyamorous relationship with Bert.
No, they're talking about their dog.
Their dog.
Yeah.
They're dog people.
That they brought in a tiny bag. Anyways.
And again, talking about, it was brought up in this episode a couple times, how tight airport security is these days. And it's like, no, because you got a dog through. Like, as shit as the TSA is these days, because did you see that report that came out?
Oh, no. What?
They got tested. 95% of the bombs and knives that they were internal TSA people testing the screeners. 95% of the shit got through. Like, literally, like a grenade. Grenades got through. No problem. Not a single problem at all. 95%.
What?
Yeah, the TSA is the worst. It's security theater, which is the phrase I hear all the time.
Wow,
and
security theater. That's a good, yeah.
TSA is there to make you feel safer. They're not keeping you safer. They're
How
just
did the grenades
wasting
get
your
through?
money. They put it in their suitcase and put it through that scanner. And then they picked it up when it came off the other side, and the dunce who was sitting in the chair staring at it missed it. That's how it got through. Because something that is shaped... It's like that old Seinfeld bit where he's like, what's this, a bowling ball shaped like a candle? That's fine, it goes through. Come on, we got to keep things moving. Like, it was literally, they showed pictures of it. It was like, what exactly, picture like a comical grenade, like what you think, that's what they looked like. Totally missed it.
Did all those people get fired? Like...
Not that I know of.
Like, I feel like my weeping mother had to, like, to get rid of her Bath & Body Works products that she forgot to take out of her carry-on.
This is the same TSA when I was selling this weekend. There was the little kid in front of me.
Yeah.
Had, like, little booties on. It was a child. Had little booties on. But there was shoelaces painted on the booties, so this had to come off. Couldn't leave those on. So that was the excuse. Like, no, well, they got laces painted on them, so they're shoes, and they need to be put in the bin. As the child cries. Good job, TSA. Well done.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, Sean always gets stopped because when we've taken his camera through, and it shows up dark because it's like, I don't know, whatever a high-tech film camera is. God, I sound like an idiot. But they always have to stop and they swab it.
One of those high-tech film cameras, yeah.
Yeah, one of those high-tech film cameras. They stop and they have to swab it and everything because it, like, shows up dark on the thing. So that's just crazy that...
They miss so much. That's the thing, like,
How did knives get... Okay, just send me the article. I'm sorry, this is evolving because I'm just, like...
No, it's...
terrified. Do you still have the article? Will you send me the link?
I found it online. I'm sure I can because it just came out, like, last week. Yeah, so don't feel safe on an airline. That's the thing. I want to start Ben's Airline where you pull up to the airport and you just get on the plane. Okay, and you take your life in your hands because you're no safer.
Here's the other thing, though, is I feel like publishing an article like that is stupid also because, like, maybe the security theater was fucking working. For the terrorists, you know what I mean? The terrorists were like, oh, we're not going to do that.
Well, they do these things like it's an internal government thing. They do it once a year, I feel like, at least. And the TSA always does such a shitty job. This
but
is
don't
like
publish
the worst
that.
one.
Like, don't publish that. Like, well, no, they're actual crap. Like, because now the people were like, oh, I guess I can get a bomb through.
I mean, if they wanted to blow up another plane, I feel like it would be the easiest thing in the world. There was even the Freakonomics guys have a new book out, and one of them is they just printed stuff from their blog into a book, but. Like, the first blog they did for, I think it was for the New York Times. The first one was, if I was a terrorist, how would I get a bomb on a plane? And they did all this stuff, and people are like, well, why would you say that? Why would you say that? And he's like, well, if I'm going to sit down and write an article that's due on Tuesday, and this is what I can come up with. If people are sitting there trying to do this for a living, essentially. That's true. They've probably already thought of this, and so hopefully have the guys trying to prevent this stuff.
I do think that, like... This is taking such a turn. Thanks, it's Murder She Wrote. But, well, it's kind of ties in murder.
It does tie murder, planes. It all ties into this episode.
I really think that, like, the people that...
If one of us gets blown up on an airplane, by the way, this podcast is going to blow up. This podcast is going to be huge.
Don't say this podcast is going to blow up after talking about us. Okay.
We just need to look at each other like Jessica and the Scotland Yard guy did when he said, oh, this case is up in the air. Or whatever he said. Yeah, and she just looked at him.
And he's like, no pun intended. And she's like, what did she say? I think.
She's like, I don't think so.
Yeah, like, no, it was a pun. You stick with it. Okay.
And you intended it. She was basically saying, like, no, I know what your intentions are. I'm Jessica Fletcher, asshole.
I know everything. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. For the people that actually, like, put a vow on a plane and, like, do that, are not the smart ones, right? Like, they're the expendable, they're crazy, like, not thinking, because, like, honestly, like, if people, I'm just surprised that, like, a dirty bomb hasn't gone, like, I'm just saying, if people really wanted to do damage, like, it is so easy to just, like, chemical, any kind of plague, disease, boom, done, we're dead.
That's the thing, I'm wondering, like, why has not a mall blown up at Christmas time? Why has not a subway blown up in Chicago? Why has not a football game?
I feel like you're saying that, why has not?
Why has not? But I just feel like it's...
Yeah, I don't know, it's, like, weird. Like, I don't believe in God, but, like, what's...
But God is watching over the United States. Is that what? I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like the first thing I thought of. Like, but I don't know. Like, what is that? Like,
the NSA is like monitoring every single thing we do illegally.
I mean,
and
again,
as a country, we've sacrificed liberty for security.
Do you think that's actually working?
The evidence seems to point to it, but that's the thing. There has been stuff like the Fort Hood shooter. Like, there's still stuff that happens. Like the stuff down in Texas recently.
Yeah,
stuff still happens.
It's like Waco again.
Yeah,
Waco,
so like
Texas.
shit still happens. So just it hasn't happened on like a big theatrical level, which shouldn't concern us. Like I would be more concerned. Like if I ride the subway every day. Like I was up in San Francisco and was riding the BART, and I was like, it'd be the easiest thing in the world to take a bomb on the BART.
Well, and I think the other thing too is that I think it happens more often in European countries than we in America recognize or see. Like in even like London, like big cities. Yeah. And
because they're like they're closer. They have bigger, not to stereotype, but bigger Muslim populations. And maybe we screen people. Maybe it is harder just to get in this country because we're not. You can't drive here. I mean, you can't drive to England, but like all over Europe, you can like.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just very interesting. Like, why aren't we all dead? Is essentially what we're saying.
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote. Why aren't we all dead?
All right, guys. Well, write in your theories and just to murderwespoke@gmail.com. Let us know why we're not all dead.
As we're talking to fans who are like doing data analysis on like diseases, like why haven't you taken you don't have access to the diseases, do you? I don't know. Are you going to kill us all? Oh my
That's what you want to do is you want to figure out how to make AIDS aerosol and disperse it and kill the world and get your ransom demands.
Have you seen, I love the movie Contagion because I feel like it's so realistic. Like just like that was
a scary but great movie.
Like something like that happening and like just everyone's reaction and all of it and like how it was taken care of, like seemed like very realistic.
Or like, Outbreak. Monkeys. Yeah,
I haven't seen that one, but yeah.
Dustin Hoffman, Rene Russo.
Classic.
Scary disease-ridden monkey. Mid-90s.
I mean, I've probably seen parts of it on TV, but yeah. Anyways.
It is. Is it an AIDS monkey? I can't remember what. No, it's an Ebola.
It's Ebola.
Ebola monkey.
Yeah.
It's The Search for an Ebola Monkey starring Dustin Hoffman. It's a great movie. It's really good.
Yeah. So, anyways.
And so, thus ends this segment of political talk. Murder We Politically Spoke, or whatever, however.
Man, Marissa's going to be sad she misses one. She loves this shit.
Yeah, this is right up her
alley.
alley.
We'll have to bring it up again for her to talk about. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, back to not Ebola, or all of us dying.
Can't wait to get on a plane.
I know, I was just thinking, when are you flying? You're flying before.
I'm flying to Vancouver at the end of the month.
Sucker.
So
I'm not flying till
no one hurts
September,
the Canadians though. Like I'll be fine, right? Like everybody loves the Canadians. I'll be fine. No one's targeted a Canadian city or airport.
It's true. We should move to Canada.
Probably. I've never been there. This might be my first time.
I've never been either. What are you guys doing? Just vacay?
Yeah, just like 4 nights in Vancouver.
And Vancouver's right above us?
It is north, yes. Yeah. It's only like a 4-hour flight.
I mean, I know all of Canada is above us.
Yes, Melissa, it is to the north.
But I feel like...
some people call it the Great White North.
Shut up. Like Montreal and Quebec.
I think are eastern.
Yeah.
And then, Vancouver, because it's a 4-hour flight from LA.
Oh,
nice.
It's
not one flight.
It's like
so.
it's right above us. Cool. Well, I hope you don't explode in the sky. Anyways. Or if someone dies on your airplane, I hope Jessica Fletcher's there to...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Solve the murder.
Well, I mean, as long as the pilot of the plane sees that, recognizes her smarts and basically lets her take over the entire investigation.
Yeah. So the first thing he says is, no one leave first class because they don't want this leaving this like area. Yeah. The murder.
Which is like, I guess, why panic? I mean, you're already sitting in coach on an international flight in the 80s with nothing to do. The last thing you need to know is that people are dropping dead in first class.
Yeah. And again, I stand by, why would first class ever want to leave first class and go tell the
a lot of people would have to die in first class before I would ever consider leaving it. So, yeah,
go to
good point.
The poor section. And then I love, Jessica is our girl, but she's basically asks Sunny, she's like, was the necklace insured? We forgot to say this. Mm-hmm. The dead guy is missing a necklace.
Yeah.
He was carrying it in his pocket.
And it was very confusing because they kept calling like the Queen Majesty or what was the name of the necklace?
It was Empress something.
Oh yeah,
Empress something.
Empress Diane. It was the Empress Diane.
It was
like something stupid like that. Yeah, it was absolutely something stupid like that.
Yeah, that was what the necklace was called. And so Jessica asks Sunny, she's like, "Did you have insurance on it?" And Sunny's like, "Are you a part of Scotland Yard?" She
put her in. The first person that we've seen that put Jessica in her place because. The Scotland Yard dude's kind of questioning everybody, telling everybody, like, okay, here's what's going to happen, here's how it's going to work. And then she steps in and immediately gets in Sunny's face. And Sunny's like, excuse me, bitch?
Yeah.
I do not think so.
Which, like...
should be the natural reaction of everybody on board.
Always, yeah. But...
when the inspector's going around with her... and when they were going around investigating... like, it wasn't like he was leading the investigation and she was following him. She was walking first, got there, kind of put her arm on the seat and was like, all right, here's the questions I have for you. People would be like, pardon me, I know you've written 2 bestsellers. Yeah. Congratulations, by the way. Happy for your success. But what the fuck are you doing getting up in my business?
I think the only way I can see people being, like on board with it is if it was, like, a celebrity who plays... like, if it was, like, the lead guy from CSI was on your plane, and he, like, started saying stuff, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in. Go ahead. Solve it.
But, yeah, I trust him. I trust his judgment.
But I wouldn't... if it was John Grisham, I'd be like, maybe not.
I don't know what John Grisham looks like, unless he stood and be like,
also
I am John Grisham.
Also that.
Like, everybody
Is he even alive? Who knows?
He could have died 30 years ago, and they're just still making movies out of his...
even though he wrote many novels in the 90s, he could be dead.
Maybe he wrote them and then passed away, and they've just been coming out posthumously.
That was the word I could see it in my head, and I couldn't say it. Again, words are hard. Posthumously.
It's a fun word to say, though.
Posthumously, putting out his books.
It's like what's the To Kill a Mockingbird? What's her name?
Harper Lee.
Like her book that's coming out now that she forgot she wrote that her publisher is probably just.
But she's still alive.
She is, but she's a little out of it, and I feel like the publisher is taking advantage of her. Like, remember you wrote this?
I'm really sad. I wish they weren't. Like...
remember you wrote this book, and then you wrote another, like, To Kill a Mockingbird, but this was the first book you wrote, but just happens to have characters from that book in it. Remember how you did that, Harper Lee? We're going to put it out. Okay, sign here.
The main reason I don't want a book to come out is... already, like, high schoolers already have to read that To Kill a Mockingbird, but I just feel like the name Atticus is, like, having a resurgence, and that's what I want to name my kid.
Oh, so
and
it's very selfish reasons why you
Oh, yeah, I don't give a shit about Harper Lee. I just don't want other people naming their kid Atticus, because it's mine.
You better put a lid on it, because Marlene King from Pretty Little Liars.
I know. Whatever. Let's not talk about it.
She had a kid when she's, like, old and she was that. Anyway, that's not necessary. That was harsh and unkind. Why would I do that?
It's okay. It's all right.
Out of her old age, crap out a kid. Like, why am I... what a horrible thing to say.
Yeah.
What a horrible... I'm sorry, Marlene King.
She accepts your apology.
Okay, thanks.
As does her son, Atticus. Okay, so... yeah, Jessica's leading the investigation. Well, basically...
but
go ahead,
I just want to reiterate how the guy is dead, and then Scotland Yard pulls out his... Errol, is his name. Why not naming a kid Errol? Like, that's a good old-fashioned name that should come back. Like Errol Flynn?
Yeah, that's all I think of. No, I don't want an Errol.
Errol is a kind of a good name.
No.
Strong name.
No.
Okay.
Don't want it.
You'll think about it. It'll marinate. It'll kind of be like, you know what? The more you think about it, you're going to like a little bit.
It's like such a mouthful, like Earl. Earl.
Is it too close to Earl?
Oh, it is dangerously close. Maybe that's why.
Earl. Because now I can't say it without saying Errol? Earl.
Errol.
Errol. Okay,
but it sounds like we're like southernly saying Earl.
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 Have you met Earl?
Earl?
Earl? You
And
hear
now
Earl?
the podcast has devolved into just sounds.
Boy, we're in rare form today.
We are.
Sorry, guys.
Great.
But anyway, so the dead body, and the guy pulls out his badge.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman's like, "You're the police?" Like that woman with the bad wig has a, I don't know, stupid line. And then the pilot is like, "Yes, we give our full faith and credit to you. You can conduct the investigation as you want." And it's like, because the one guy's, the producer's like, "I'm an American citizen on an American plane. I don't have to do what you tell me to do."
Yeah.
And the pilot's like, "No, we authorize him to do whatever he wants to do." And it's like, Pan Am employee? I'm pretty sure you do not have that authority.
But captains do have a weird, like, pilot captains. Is that right?
I think if you're a pilot, you're Captain so-and-so. So, but I don't think their full title is Pilot Captain Edwards. I don't think. For example.
I do.
Okay.
So pilot captains
Pilot Captain.
are like, I don't know, they wear those suits.
Whoa, they wear military-esque jackets when
Yeah.
they get on the plane. Okay, you're right. And white shirts. And they have those little yellow stripes somewhere on their shirts, too.
Even though at one point, Jessica's like, "Oh, hey, Caps, who's flying the fucking plane?" And they're like, autopilot. So even though autopilot can do their job, I don't know, I feel like
That's
some
like
authority.
you're here because you took a class to land a plane and to take off. The middle, like, 11 and a half hours, you're completely unnecessary.
I was like, well, they went to school for it. And then I was like, oh, God, I've had more schooling than probably most pilot captains.
If a pilot captain tried to put his authority on you, you'd be like, "No, I'm afraid I've taken way more school than you, so I am not going to bend to your will."
Sorry, pilot captain.
I know you were a crop duster when you were in high school, and now you're flying for Pan Am, but you know what?
Because I think you can get your bachelor's in it.
Pilot captaining?
Yeah. I have a friend that did it, because Bowling Green, where I went to undergrad, they had a flight school. Because it was surrounded by cornfields, so...
That makes sense. How long is flight school? Like, is it like a
I think,
4-year?
I know someone that's now a pilot, and he was there 4 years. I mean, he got his bachelor's in something. Aerospace.
Wow. It takes that long?
I think
Shouldn't you know how to build an airplane after 4 years, let alone fly one?
Aeronomics. What? Is that a word? Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's right. I think that's right.
Can you get a degree in aeronomics? I think you can.
That makes sense. But I feel like that has to do
But how fancy do you sound? I'm an aeronomics major.
but that's the thing, like, even so...
And I'm a pilot captain.
I know all the math and science that goes into a plane getting off the ground. If something breaks on the plane, I can fix it while we're in the air. I know the problems to look for.
Yeah.
I know all the gadgetry that goes into this shit. Why then am I the police? Why then am I the moral authority of this vessel?
Well, because you are the captain of the plane. So you're
Is this
in
just
charge.
like a holdover from, like, the military?
From, like ships.
So,
From, like, the Titanic. Like, you would listen to a captain on a ship, and they could, like, put people in the brig.
So if there was, like, a military general, because
Yeah.
I don't know what other rank is. General's the highest, so I was going to try and name something less than a general, but higher than a
Major,
captain.
private.
Let's go major. Might be higher than a captain. So if I'm a major in the
I think it might
okay. If I'm Major Dad and I'm on this airplane,
be. Yeah.
and
Well, are you the actor Major Dad? Because now I'm just confused. Because you have celebrity status, too.
well, yeah, he's a celebrity who plays a major, so it's even better than being an actual major in the military, according to the laws of Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
But if I'm Major Dad and I'm like, "Okay, Captain, great ideas, but I'm a major, so I'm going to overrule you, and I'm going to say that Mrs. Fletcher should sit down and not participate in the investigation."
I don't think so. I think you have to listen to the captain. Because he's the pilot captain.
I don't know why.
I think he is.
I think you're right, but I don't know why that makes...
Does it?
Why does he get to make those decisions?
Maybe that's why you have to be in school for 4 years. Because you're like, moral dilemma. Someone dies on your plane.
Is that
An
just
author wants to take over the investigation. What do you do?
That's just like year 3.
Yeah.
Is all that. Okay.
It's all like moral quandaries.
Moral quandaries, policing the skies, international waters.
Yeah. All of that.
Policing the Skies 101. All pilot captains have to take it.
It's just, yeah, like, oh, I learned how to fly a plane like 2 years ago. Now I'm just figuring out if someone like dies on my plane.
The first week, takeoff, landing, you guys are 95% of the way to being pilots, but the next 4.5 years are going to be grueling.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Okay.
And
it gets better because we already talked about her looking at the fingernails, but she goes upstairs because they move the body upstairs because no one wants to stare at a dead body for 12 hours.
Gross. This is first class, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they probably aren't going to have to comp some of these tickets. So they get up there, and Jessica, like, makes a beeline for the body, and the guy's like, whoa, oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Fletcher. The captain said you have full access to do whatever you want to this dead body. I'll be over here. Yeah. And she's like, oh, hold up. Do you also have the flight manifest? Not a problemo. Let me go grab those for you while you meddle with this dead body.
What does he tell her to do? Knock on the cockpit door. They're in there. That's fine. Just give a little knock, knock, knock. Go on in. And
this is pre 9/11. You probably could just open the door without knocking anyway. Yeah, there's no lock on those doors.
Yeah. Hey, it's JB Fletch coming in.
I'm gonna need your flight manifest if you've got a minute.
Like, the thing that's funny to think about is that if the Scotland Yard guy wasn't there, she would be totally in charge. I mean, she basically was in charge of the investigation. But but see, I wonder how many flights and what constitutes when there's a air marshal. Because they have the highest authority, obviously.
Obviously. Was there air marshals pre-9... Yeah, I guess there was pre-9/11. They just weren't on that many flights.
Like, are they on every flight now?
I don't think so. I think they would want you to think that, but... Do you know how many flights are up in the air right now?
That's true.
That's...
So how do they determine what flight to go on?
I almost feel like it's... If there's probably something where they feel like there was a little chatter over flights from...
Yeah.
You know, New York to Chicago, we're going to up it over here. Like, it's probably dependent on that. Otherwise, it's just randomized, I would guess. Because, like, if a flight's going from, like, I fly home to Montana, like, from Salt Lake City, there's always Salt Lake City to Butte, Montana. Probably not a lot of air marshals on there. Not a lot of terrorists looking to take down those assholes in Butte, Montana.
That's fair.
Run their plane into the tallest building in the city, which is 4 stories. It's quite beautiful. It's a marvel of modern engineering. So I think, like, probably, less there. More like New York, LA, Chicago. Like, you're
international flights, you think?
Oh, yeah. Certainly international flights.
Yeah. So, anyways. Okay. Well.
Just go knock on the cockpit door. They'll give you whatever you want.
Whatever you want, because they're cooperating. So they... What is it? So they're investigating... Oh, the Scotland Yard guy. He tells Jessica, so he's like, listen, I'll take your help. Because she's like, I'll help you any I can. He's like, done. I'll take it. Because I'm a sad sack, and I've never been promoted. These young bucks have come up. He's like, and if I can solve this without anyone's help, then I'll get off the plane and, like, boom, get promoted. Even though I look like I should probably be retiring any second.
Exactly. It's like, I'm a 25-year man. It's like, yeah, you should have retired 5 years ago then, by my count.
Oh, my gosh, Ben.
This is so rude.
Rookie
oh, my
mistake.
God. So that was my family calling, so... They'll never listen to this, so that's why I'm not picking up the phone, because they don't listen to my podcast. So that's what you get.
But yeah, so he's like, please help me, and I'm going to solve this case on my own, because I want to get a promotion.
Because he wants to promote, yeah.
It was all a whole weird thing. I really want to start doing this in my everyday life, where Jessica, like, just doesn't really respond to people. Have you noticed that? She just looks at them. Just kind of, like, cocks her head a little bit. It's those big eyes.
Like, it really is. It's really like kind of almost like you would use it in negotiations where if someone proposes like, what if we met at $21 million? And you just kind of stared at him a little bit. Okay, what about 20? What about 20?
Like, they just keep talking. She doesn't say anything.
Exactly. Yeah. She lets them dig themselves a hole. And I feel like it's
a good skill to have. Yeah.
Wonder what year they learned that in pilot captain school. Just let people dig their own holes as you dole out authority on murder investigations and diamond thievery.
I never want anything to, like, go wrong on one of my planes, but on one of my flights, but, like, I've always thought it would be, like, cool if someone was, like, having a heart attack or something, and they're like, is there a doctor here? And then, like, one comes up.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
And everyone lives. I don't want anyone to die. But one time there was an episode of House where he, like, saved someone on a plane. That was cool.
Okay. That always reminds me of Adam Carolla had, like, a good theory where, you know, if you ask someone if they're a doctor, not like even like a dentist will say, yeah, I'm a doctor.
Yeah. Where
he said, no, I want plane doctor. meaning like if someone stood up on a plane and shouted, "We need a doctor," would you still say yes? Dentists, you assholes would not.
Yeah.
Podiatrists, probably not. So like, are you a airplane doctor?
But here's the thing, like if that's all you are, you still went to medical school. But like I'm saying, if there's no one else with like, except for like, you know, this kid with a fucking UCLA sweatshirt on who just completed his first quarter of like, I'm pretty mad. It's like him and a dentist. I'm like, let's get the dentist in here.
Ooh, boy, we're on different sides of this issue then because...
What? That kid in the UCLA sweatshirt has taken like Dance 101, like Welcome to College, Think About Your Life, and one maybe bio class.
And he's not a dentist, so he is thus qualified to make medical decisions. Why are we not calling pilot captain? Because they probably should learn how to save people's lives. If they're the ultimate authority in the sky, why not know CPR?
I would almost 100%. I would bet like $1 that all pilot captains have to be CPR certified and Heimlich maneuver certified.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can you get Heimlich maneuver certified? I don't know, but I would never attempt it on someone because I would be terrified.
That would be scary.
And I never want someone to have to do it to me. These all seem like rational things, right?
These are very rational. I'm just glad you're voicing them.
I just want everyone to know.
It's necessary. Okay.
I guess if I'm choking, please do it on me, but like...
Just, don't be a dick about it.
Don't break my ribs.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Well, see, here's the other thing. I'm wondering, like, if you're a doctor or something, like, people sue so easily. Like, so that's the thing. Like, if you're a dentist, I could see you not raising your hand because you're like, fuck, I don't really know. This person's having a heart attack. There's like a hair in my eye. Oh my gosh, I'm not choking. There's just a hair in my eye.
I'm a dentist and I don't know shit. All I know is how to recommend treatments people don't need. And
oh my god, you're so bitter.
I hate dentists with a fiery passion.
Oh, my dentist is nice.
I've never met a dentist I did not hate. That did not recommend stuff. Like the last dentist I went to, my teeth, worse since I went to see him, and I will not go back. I like trying to find a dentist. Like here in LA, I went to some Russian, like, I don't like straight out of the USSR. Like we need to do this, we need this, we need to this, and like first he's like, well, where do you work? And I'm like, told him where I work. He's like, oh, you must make lots of money. And I was like, okay,
man.
friend. And then after he learned that, it's I need 17. I was like, I came in here for one thing. I have one problem.
Yeah.
And like he recommended, no, I need 1,000 other things done, and thousands and thousands of dollars of work done. No, thank you. I
definitely get it because when I was at my last job, it's a quick dentist story since we're talking. I picked the wrong insurance and I was stuck going to Bright Now Dental, which God bless their heart. Maybe they're, I'm sure they're helping people. The guy was super nice, but he looked like he should have been like selling me a used car in Compton, whatever I said it. And I was like, okay, like, because I was having pain. And basically, like, I had a tooth pulled forever ago, like 7 years ago, in the back. It's, like, not my full back molar, but the one before. You can't see. Can you tell, Ben?
No.
No, you cannot tell that I'm missing a tooth back there. But I've always said, like, every time I first go to a dentist, they're like, you should get a bridge. Like, your teeth are all going to shift around. And it's like, fine, whatever. Maybe sometime down the road.
Oh, that's what they all say. Like, this one will push this one, and then they'll crowning, and then this one's got space. And it's like, bullshit.
But it's been, bullshit. And previous to this guy, when I was at my other job, aka before I took my sabbatical, my dentist, she had mentioned it, but she was lovely. Like, she was always, like, good, just did the normal. So I go to this guy, I'm like, I'm having pain. So he tells me about this. Then he tells me I have a cracked tooth, which you can't see on x-rays, and that I needed to get a cap, but they don't always work. Then the lady comes to tell me about how much it's going to fucking cost me with my crap insurance, and they just automatically included that I was getting a bridge. And I was like, it was like over $2,000. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, because it was like, a bridge and a new tooth. And I'm like, nope, just getting the cap. Like, if I need it. So I unclip myself, and I cry, and I leave. I'm like, no. Then I'm like, fuck, okay. I do research. I'm like, cracked tooth is a thing, but like, I don't know.
How does he know? How did he say how he knew?
We tried all these tests, and so then I 8 o'clock in the morning, I make an appointment. I go back. First of all, I see him going to fucking Panera down the street. I'm like, why did you schedule me for an 8 a.m. appointment if you're gonna go eat your breakfast first? Comes back, and then once again they I don't know, with all this insurance, it was like over $1,000 still. So I unclipped myself again and left crying and never went back. And then I went and I got better insurance and I went back to my old dentist and she's like, it's fine, just brush harder. She's amazing. Like, it's fine. Like, you don't have a cracked tooth. Like, it still goes, like, I just have sensitive teeth. I'm fine.
That's the thing. I do too. Like, because after these, I went to another dentist after the Russian mobster gave me his professional opinion. I went to a dentist in Beverly Hills and, like, his website had, like, him and Kevin James and him and P. Diddy on the thing. I was like, okay, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Like, if he somehow is covered under my insurance, so I'll go see him. But it was the same thing where just a million different things. And, like, I'm so petrified when I'm in a dentist chair because I had braces all growing up. And it was, when I was going to get it off, because they had, like, these metal rings around my back teeth to hold the braces in that were, like, glued in. And then when it comes time to pull them off, do you know what they do? Just tug at them until they come off. And I was, like, literally, I was sitting there crying as they're trying to pull this thing out of my mouth. Yeah. And they have, like, oh, pick your retainer color. And I'm like, fuck all of you. Like, oh, by the way, you're going to be a giant nerd with a retainer now. Because braces are, you know, this is so much better for your life. Pick the color you want it to be. As they're just yanking on my thing. Like, it was... So, like, fuck dentists. I hate every single one of them. And then this guy did the same thing. Upsold me on everything. Told me I needed all this stuff. Yeah. Did, like, a gum cleaning. It's like, oh, you need to get one of those. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I got told that, too. Yeah. Have not been the same since. Like, are so much more sensitive than they ever were after this. So now I just got, like, Sensodyne. I use that and fucking haven't been back to a dentist since.
You should go to my dentist. She's a tiny Asian woman. She's so nice. But she's, like, she's, like, firm and nice. Like, she's good. She's, like, a good mixture. And she won't try to upsell you. I'm just saying. I don't think that you're ever going to like dentists, but at least she's, like...
Like, it's going to have to be...
And she's right in Westwood.
Oh, that's good. That is nice. Okay.
You have, like, a nice view of UCLA while you're getting your teeth cleaned.
Yeah, oh, no. I like, seriously, like, if I would get... My boyfriend has absolutely denied me getting dentures, but I would in a heartbeat. Because then,
pull all your teeth and get dentures.
Yeah, just knock me out. Yeah. Pull them all out. Put some nice dentures in there. And then if something goes wrong with those... I just get a new pair. And I don't have to fucking see you assholes ever again with your fucking drills and picks and water suckers. And, like, seeing, like, when he was in there with one thing, like, literally, like, little just, like, kind of blood split, like, as he's doing stuff. And I was like, that's probably not okay. Like, what are you doing? And then the whole thing of, let me know if you can feel this. And then because I'm so afraid, like, they'll numb one area and go around, like, okay, and then they'll just hit a nerve or whatever because they don't do it enough. And it's like, no, they're the devil.
I've always been scared, and I just, like, I don't know. Well, I also, like, grew up poor, so I didn't have braces. So I didn't have to deal with any of that. Like, I wasn't scarred as a child. I just had crooked teeth. It's fine. But no, I mean, yeah, you should definitely, because I've now had a tooth pulled. My dentist was fabulous. He was in Ohio, but he was fabulous. I had a crush on him and almost, like, told him how much I loved him while under the laughing gas. Shwoo. This dentist is great. And when I had my wisdom teeth out, she sent me to some schmoozy guy in Santa Monica who was, like, you know, super tan and, like, bleached, but still, like, really good. Like, the surgery went well. And I have never had surgery, and I was, like, freaking the fuck out because they have, like, obviously they put the needle in, and I don't do well with blood, except I love vampires. I don't do well with blood or needles. And I was like, well, you have to put anesthesia in me. And they were like, yeah. And, like, I was already hooked up to a heart monitor thing, so I could hear my heartbeat, like, going really fast. God. And they're like... That helps. And I was just like, oh, God. And they're like, count to 10. And I was like, it's not working. 10. And then I was, like, done. And it took, like, a half hour. He pulled out all 4 wisdom teeth. Here's the last thing I'm going to say. The thing that pisses me off is this fucking Bright Now Dental, who, again...
It's a plan right now. It's super clever.
Like, I still had the privilege, like, to... switch insurance. Like, my spouse is employed and I knew I could get better insurance, but, like, these people, this is what pisses me off, is, you know, the people that are going to these types of places are, unfortunately, probably don't have insurance or are on the lower tier of insurance. And it just made me angry because I'm like, they're upselling and they're telling you have to get this, or basically your tooth is going to fall out and you have to pay like $2,000. I'm like, there is no reason that what you're telling me I need to get done should cost more than my getting 4 wisdom teeth pulled, getting surgery. And it did. It was going to cost more. Like, it cost me like $400 to get all my wisdom teeth pulled because of the great insurance that we had. Ugh. So anyways, that just made me mad too. I mean, I am a selfish person, but I was thinking, like, I'm just like, these poor people that come in and don't, like, literally poor people.
Yeah.
And they don't have the money to do this, or, like, can't, or, like, feel like they have to do it. And
that's it, because that's everyone told me, because, like, I've never had wisdom teeth pulled. And they're like, oh, you need to have this. And I've been told that for over a decade now. Oh, you need to have these pulled. Oh, sometimes, like, it's been fine. If something happens, fine, I'll get it pulled.
The only reason I got mine, was because one got infected, and it was, like, hurting and gross.
Yeah. If that happens to me, I'll get it pulled.
Yeah.
But until then, I don't know why I would bother. It's not hurting anything.
Yeah, like, you should go to my dentist, though. Even though you're like never going again.
Never. It's literally my teeth are gonna have to turn into blood. Just start leaking out of my face. Then I'll go.
Sean constantly has the dream that all his teeth fall out, and he just has them in his hand. And he's trying to put them back in his mouth. It's like a dream about like dying.
It's a sign of stress, I think.
Yeah.
I've had that dream, the teeth shattering dream.
I've never had a dream like that. It sounds awful.
Because I was having peppermint bark one Christmas, and I chipped a tooth.
Oh yeah.
And so like I know like. Ugh, that was horrible. And then that's what I went and had fixed with this one dentist in Beverly Hills, and led to just a million other things.
Don't do it. Listeners, send in like your plane stories and your dentist stories.
This has just been an hour of horror.
Yeah. Any flight stories? Has anyone ever died on one of your flights?
Oh, exciting.
Has anyone ever died at the dentist?
I would sooner die than go to the dentist. Never. I hate the dentist. Anyway.
Oh. Anyways.
JB Fletch, where were we? How did we get into dentistry, by the way?
Well, because you refused to let a dentist help you if you were dying on a plane.
Oh, that's right.
And I'd be like, go ahead, I'll open wide for you.
Yeah, I still stand my ground. Fucking dentist.
What is the lowest level medical professional that you would let assist you? And dentists are not low level. Again, they have to go to medical school.
Have you talked to some of the dental students where we are? They are the dumbest of the dumb.
I posit that our grad students are the fucking worst. I think everyone at this point knows we work at UCLA.
Yeah,
I don't even care. Like, we would try to dance like and I was a grad student at UCLA. I don't like, they are the worst. All of them that come into our office are like
astonishing.
I'm like, how are you?
What happened?
Yeah.
How did you do this? This is a miracle that you made it. And in that group of dumbasses, the dentists are particularly dumb.
I haven't noticed that. I mean, I feel like the medical residents are pretty... Like, I can't imagine, of course, they're stressed out, but I'm just like, taking care of your housing, one, it's really not that hard. Like, just pay your rent on time.
Like, the university just threw a bunch of money at you.
Yeah.
Pay your rent.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have...
But they're always wanting, like, except... They're like, like, I was talking to this one guy, and he's like, I have boards coming up, and I just don't want to have to think about where my housing is. I'm like, I get that, but you should have fucking paid for your housing and renewed for next year.
Yeah.
Like,
I know you're just so stressing it. I just don't want to think about where I'm getting housing, but you need to.
Like,
but that's something you still need to do.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out. Guess what I still have to worry about? Where I'm going to sleep at night. So guess what, asshole? Fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you entitled piece of shit.
Like, I'm just like, great, you have to take your boards, but maybe you should have been smart enough to read the 1,000 emails that we sent you saying you needed to renew your contract. Maybe you knew, like,
I would be taking my boards. I should probably get squared away where I'm going to be sleeping.
I should probably make sure, is my lease up next month? I'm pretty sure that's something I can remember. Where it is, it's a year contract. Oh, is it the end of the year?
Is the school year over and my contract is also therefore over? Oh, it is? Oh, I better take care of that.
That's
or
funny.
no, I'll come in at the last minute and make up all these sad excuses about how I'm just so delicate and tender and I could never be bothered to do it on my own.
And I still am floored by how many parents of grad students like call in or get involved. I'm like,
if you have ever called anywhere on behalf of your grad student, you have failed as a parent.
The only one I'm gonna like let exception for is, I think it was someone, she just graduated undergrad, still too old, but the mom was literally just trying to plan because they wanted to help her move in. Yes, she should have just talked to her daughter, but she's like, I don't want to bother her, and like asking questions, and she was really nice, so I'll allow it.
That's sweet, but when you call and be like, oh, my little Toby doesn't know how to pay, or what, like...
That is humble. Well, Toby needs a corner unit with, like, a view, and yeah.
He told me that his view is overlooking a cemetery, and that's just a bad energy, and I just don't think he's going to study well there.
I love all of those. I'm like, guess what? There are no bodies in that cemetery, so go fuck yourself.
The number of people like that are just like... And it is, like, we got an email from a person who said, it's just a bad energy. I can't sleep across from a cemetery. It's bad energy. Hang yourself? Kill yourself?
Oh my God, you were
I think I am super bitter and enraged at these people.
I just want to be like, it's a lawn. It's a lawn with stones in it. There are no dead bodies.
There's no headstones. Yeah, it is literally just like a memorial.
Yeah, and there's no. So the bad energy is, I don't know where.
In your own crazy, stupid mind, you dumbass hippie.
The thing that I find incredible is that we get those complaints, and yet we built some of these studios that have like a tiny like square of a window, and we're like, listen, it's less expensive, but you're never gonna see the sun, and they're like, we'll take it. Like, it just like, yeah, you should be like that. You got into grad school at UC, like, congratulations, like, be excited, be thankful, like, you're furthering your education. You can live in a studio with half a window.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to think of one of those shows where you just see like Cheers. It's like Cheers where you just see people's feet walking by.
Yeah, it's basically like a basement.
Like that.
Yeah.
You just see people's shoes.
Anywho,
so,
you can also email us and tell us about where you lived in college.
And help us. Yeah, we'll complain about fucking grad students again.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, this podcast is going on 7 hours, but
this it's we're at an hour, so we'll wrap up.
We'll wrap it up.
We got most of the way.
You know what we were doing was just showing you how the actual episode went, just like a lot of random stuff, and then the last 2 minutes are
we're gonna pack in all this stuff.
Yeah,
we're gonna just lots of show stopping, like twists and turns. So let's see. There was one other thing. Anyway, like Jessica just like running rickshaw or running what? What is the thing? Running rampant? Maybe I wanted to say whatever.
Running rampant, okay.
Running rampant over all the employees. So they go to Jessica's like, hold up, Scotland Yard. What about the flight crew? Let's not overlook them. Mm-hmm. And so they go search the flight crew. This is when like all the pilots and everybody's there, and Jessica's like, who's flying the plane?
Yeah.
And so they're looking through everybody's bag, and they look up, because one of the flight attendants has just been really derelict in her duties. Like, dude asked for a sherry, and he got a tomato juice.
Yeah.
And then most egregious of all, Jessica was having trout for dinner.
Yeah.
And this bitch tried to serve her red wine. Oh, no. So, and Jessica was not, like, because the Scotland Yard dude was just like, whatever, I'll drink this gross tomato juice.
Yeah.
But Jessica's like, sweet. She even called her like, honey.
Yeah.
I ordered white wine with my Dover Soul.
Yeah.
Like she didn't even like, I just asked for white wine. She's like, I'm eating fish. Obviously I'm having white wine. You uncultured twit.
And then flight attendant's like, white with fish. Oh God. Like, it's like, yeah, get it fucking right.
Yeah, she was very, yeah.
Oh, it was great.
So, let's see where from there.
So that flight attendant who's been all like giving her the wrong drinks. Yeah, they're searching her bag, and they find the necklace. But it's a fake.
Oh, what?
And don't worry, good thing they could figure it out easily because there's a diamond expert on board,
just
a jeweler.
Jessica, like everybody, like the producer knows Sonny, Jessica knows Scotland Yard guy. There's like a diamond expert, and there's like the most expensive diamond necklace on earth on the plane. Like a lot of coincidences happening in the 20 seats of first class. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So he declares it a fake, and Sonny agrees. She's like, "Oh, it is fake."
Yeah, but the part of this is the woman's talking because they're like, why was she so distracted? And she's like, oh, I'm flying to meet my boyfriend in London. And he's like, oh, that's why a young woman would be so flustered. Like, basically, like, she's, she can't wait to get boned in London.
This dumb bitch can't be in love and do her job. Obviously.
Nope, not a chance.
Women can't. Of course. You're about to get yourself a husband. What are you doing trying to work?
Stupid bitch. So she's like, yeah, I'm meeting, and she says his first name, like,
Bert Howard.
Bert Howard, yeah. I'm meeting Bert Howard. She's like, and then the other flight attendant there is like, Bert, but he meets me in Paris.
Oh, no. Meanwhile, Jessica loving it.
Cracks up. I have never, in the 5 episodes we've seen, never has she laughed as hard as she did at this poor woman's plight.
Like, I was so surprised. She was like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
She was trying to contain it.
Yeah.
Not to laugh directly in their faces.
Like, she started laughing, though, even when she said she was, like, meeting a fella, or whatever, however she said it. Like, the guy I'm going with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to start saying that. Oh, this is Peter. This is the man I'm going with.
Going where? Going to bed?
No, I'm going with him. I'm going with him.
I'm going with him on a slow march to death.
Yeah, basically. As our corpse rot, they will rot together. It's pretty gorgeous.
Okay. Yeah, so she starts laughing at that point and then just keeps, she's like, oh man, and there's another lady involved. Mm-hmm. And then when the necklace is discovered, the other flight attendant is like, oh, when really they should be mad at Bert. There's a lot of, it is Bert because I remembered it's the same name as, Bernie and Bert.
Bernie is the dog.
Bert is the dog, Bernie is the flight attendant.
Bernie Howard.
You
know Bernie, he meets me in Paris.
Gross. So then they're like, oh, this necklace is a fake, so you're off the hook. I feel like they put the necklace back in her bag and they're like, oh, no. We're not going to be worried at all why you have a fake necklace.
Because that's the thing, the pilot, aka the general of the airplane, Captain Pilot Rogers was like, so can she go back to work? And Scotland Yard's like, yeah, back to your post.
Yeah.
Like, so no more questions?
Those passengers aren't going to pour their own champagne.
Yeah. So
get to work.
It's been like 20 minutes since the bitch back in the third row has had her champagne filled.
Yeah.
That's where she needs to be.
Get on it. So that happens, and then... But they discover... I forget how this happens, but basically Scotland Yard gets the rest of the... printed out to the computer on the plane. Which,
is just like... Not, they're just like, end of the day, they could have looked it up, like, what would it, like, we're not even going to say fax machine to the computer on the plane, which is not,
I feel like it's not, I feel like even in technology today, they don't just have a printer in the cockpit.
And it was one of those old, like, dot printers, like, where it was like yeah, it was one of those, like, so they just have one of those in the fucking cockpit now?
I bet it just like reams of, oh god. I used to love separating that paper though. Anyways, okay.
That was fun. There's no doubt about it.
So he's looking at the flight manifest, whatever. It wasn't the flight manifest. It was like when people bought their ticket. Because that, apparently there's a report that tells you that. Fine.
It's all in this report, like, and she could tell that the stewardess like switched slots with another girl and all this stuff. Like she knew, I don't think they put that on any... No. I've actually seen a flight manifest, like they release them like after tragedy or whatever. It is literally just a list of names and their seat assignments. It's not, you don't get more than that.
So he sees that this one guy, Chadwick, right? Hardwick? Has...
No, Segura. Oh no, on this one, you're right. Just PS. On the thing, they were going through, when they first thought it was Segura, because they're like, because Sonny just bought hers today, and so did he. So only people that bought their ticket after her could ever be suspected, which, good hunch.
Yeah.
So, and the inspector was made sure to be like, yeah, I bought mine 3 weeks ago, so it wasn't me or you, because you bought yours 1 week ago. P.S. In the 80s, people are not booking their fucking international travel 1 week, 2 days, like all the time. It's like 10 days, a week, like... You're not booking international travel that close. Like, that is not how it works today, let alone in the 80s.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So, but then later on, when we get to your man Chadwick, he bought, tickets on, like, multiple flights.
Right.
And Jessica made up something like, oh, well, people, they don't mind you double booking. They overlook these things for whatever reason. It's like... No, I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty suspicious if some dude bought like a ticket on every flight going out of Boston to London, like for a week. Like, no, I'm pretty sure people would bat an eye at that.
Yeah. She's like, oh, people do it all the time. Why?
She was very Big Brother in this episode because even when they were going through and searching, because literally, search everybody's bags.
Yeah.
Like, there was no right to privacy does not exist in international
waters.
Yeah. Captain Pilot says
they were
no.
over international waters in the sky. Yeah.
So Captain Pilot said, nope, your belongings are not private nor personal. And then when the old woman with the bad wig was like, I don't want you to search my knitting bag, Jessica's like, if you don't have nothing to hide, what are you worried about? It's like, oh, okay, NSA Big Brother. Like, just that is the same exact argument that like nut jobs who want like a camera on every corner. Like that is full on Big Brother mentality. And Jessica, you're better than that. I don't appreciate that at all.
Fair. Okay.
So anyway,
she was very Big Brother this episode.
She really was.
I don't have a problem with it. Okay. I want the NSA to... I hope they're listening right now and enjoying.
I think this is probably the one thing the NSA are not listening to is this podcast.
We did talk about bombs on planes.
Although, yeah, it is good. Okay, maybe we will get a phone call.
Because that's what the NSA does, call you.
Hey, you guys talked about bombs a lot on your last podcast. What's going on?
Oh, okay.
So they find out that he's booked a bunch of flights because he knows Sunny is going to London for the
gala,
the royal gala. So he's like, she's got to leave sometime. So he booked all this stuff. So he booked it far enough in advance as not to be suspicious, because that is somehow less suspicious than booking 25 airline tickets.
Yeah.
Okay. But then it doesn't. I think they missed something where, because the inspector was like, "Oh yeah, I booked my ticket 3 weeks out." Was he just lying about when he booked his ticket, like to Jessica? Like, but she had the sheet. So if he booked his ticket 3 weeks out, how did he know exactly which one to book? The inspector.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I think that might have been oversight. Because Jessica was looking at the list. It's not like he was reading it to her.
Maybe they knew all along. But then Chadwick bought a bunch to, like, because he was going to be the patsy anyway. Yeah. The fall guy. So.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be. Only because Sunny poisoned.
But that was like plan B.
Yeah, but I just feel like if he was going to be there for... Anyway, I just think it was an oversight on the writer's part.
My question was if everything... Oh, no, never mind. I figured it out. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes... Yeah, you're right. It doesn't really jive.
So that's it. So, yeah. So they figure out it's Chadwick. Hardwick. I like Chadwick better. I'm going to call him Chadwick. So they figure out it's Chadwick. Go down to... Like, first of all, like, we're treated to, like, 10 minutes of the inspector and Jessica whispering at one another. Like,
basically Jessica recapping the first 10 minutes of the flight and everything that she observed, Hawkeye style. Yeah.
He was coming out of the bathroom and I distinctly heard a razor, so I was wondering, and I was thinking if he did it, and literally whispering back and forth, and now he's sitting all the way in the back, and if he was back there, how did he get up here to steal the necklace? And it's like literally like they had this 10-minute conversation of whispers.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
And basically they don't figure out, she's like, I still don't understand why he was killed, but the inspector's like, one thing at a time, let's go get the necklace. Fine. So they go, and they're searching through his bag again, and she sees an electric razor, but then he also has a can of shaving cream with no normal razor. And he was Jurassic Parking that shit.
Yeah. Jessica saw right through his Dennis Nedry plan.
Yes. And the bottom opened up, and there was the necklace.
Oh. And so they, handcuffed him with yarn, with green yarn.
I love how rigid he was keeping his... I mean, I guess you can tie yarn pretty tight, but it just seemed funny to me.
I feel like if someone tied my hands with yarn, and I applied a little bit of pressure, it would...
I'd be like, I'm cat's cradling the shit!
You could either, stretch it out enough to get your hands out, or you could just break it because it's yarn, because it's 2 feet of yarn.
Yeah.
And I'm a grown-up. So I feel like it's not the best, but whatever.
But that's what they used. And then they get off. Well, and then he goes, Ben's like, maybe gonna sneeze? I don't know.
Almost sneeze.
Hardwick is like, I stole the necklace and I killed him. And Jessica's like, wait a minute. And she goes to make some phone. She's on the plane's about to land, and she's on the phone with Scotland Yard, like, oh, Inspector, I need this information. And they're like, of course, giving it to her.
Because she's Jessica Fletcher. Yeah. So Scotland Yard will do whatever she asks.
Yeah.
And they do.
And then they land, and we see the inspector guy getting off with the prisoner. They think they go through the first, they sign customs, and then the security, Heathrow security is like, oh, we need you upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they bring him up there, and he's trying to be like, I don't have time for this bureaucratic red tape. And then, close the door, and Jessica's just standing back there. Just pointing, because we didn't emphasize on this whole episode, yet again, this dude is hardcore flirting with JB Fletch.
Invites her to dinner the next night.
Oh, let me get you a sherry. Let's meet for coffee after dinner on the flight. I'll take you to Savoy Grill. Fancy place. Spare no expense. Well, he's going to have some money coming in, so obviously he can afford the Savoy Grill. So, hardcore hitting on her.
Yeah.
So, naturally, she's like, well, you're actually the bad guy. And then, again, we're treated to another 10 minutes of Jessica outlining how all this worked between the guy, because it was 2 plots that came together at once.
Yeah.
Because Sunny was trying to kill the chauffeur, and then Chadwick and Scotland Yard were trying to steal the necklace. And these 2 plots intersected.
Yeah.
And Kate Mulgrew's plan was to hide the necklace in the stewardess's bag. How was she going to get it back? Remember, she hid what she thought was a fake. Like, that's the thing, because there was no follow-up questions on why she had this thing in her bag that we don't know. Was she friends with the stewardess, or was she just going to go get it at the end of the flight?
I think she was going to go get it, because I think the way they made it seem was that she just, like, quickly stashed it, and they didn't make it seem like she put it specifically in her bag. That was the vibe I got, was she just threw it in there really quick and then was going to get it before they got off.
But she killed this guy.
Right.
And then made a big stink about her necklace being gone. So did she not... Of course she would assume that the plane was going to get searched.
Maybe she was...
Did she think they weren't going to search the crew?
Maybe she was framing. Maybe that's what she wanted.
But why? Because she even told Jessica...
Because she would have looked suspicious if she had the necklace. So she had to figure out a way to get it without drawing attention. Like, even going through customs...
Did she think, like, they would find it and then frame... And be like, oh, this stewardess took it.
Yeah.
This little air waitress took it. And so, here's your necklace back. We apologize. She's fired and going to prison.
Yes.
Okay, that must... Okay.
Yeah, because they'd be like, oh... No, wait.
Okay.
Wait.
I wish Jessica was here right now. She
Remember when the dead body's about to go up to the bar level?
Uh-huh.
She's like, wait, he's holding something for me.
Yeah, she went and looked in his pocket. Because before she went up there, she had already taken the thing
Why?
out. Good question. Because remember Jessica, in her whisper conversation, was like, I saw her go upstairs. Like, she went into the galley.
Yeah.
And then she went upstairs.
Why do all that? I just really, like, why? Like, she could have just, when the body's dead, been like, he's holding this for me. And no one would have questioned it.
Because they were already like, yeah, it's my necklace. He was holding it for me. I want to make sure it's safe because it's more valuable than his life.
Yeah.
And I'd like to make sure I hold on to it. There's no point in hiding it in the stewardess's stuff other than to make a big stink about it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because she even made a point, like, she's not going to get the insurance money. She's like, I'm far too wealthy to be scamming an insurance company. Like, she's a socialite. She's got more than enough money.
Unclear.
Yeah, so...
This one...
Couple holes in this one there, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I mean, I picked this episode. One, someone recommended it on Twitter to us. I wish I had your name. I apologize. Two, the title of the episode I thought was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then Kate Mulgrew. And
clearly it led us to talk about planes and dentists.
Boy, yeah, this was one of those classic Murder We Spoke spin-off episodes where we talk about planes and geopolitics and dentists. Yeah, it was a good one.
But yeah, so the Scotland Yard guy is not actually Scotland Yard. He never got promoted, and he was like sad and retired, and he wanted that necklace, so he was in cahoots with Chadwick. The end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the end.
And the only way to get the necklace through
customs was to be
evidence.
Was not in a thing, but in an evidence bag. Because this is what she was saying. She's like, with how strict custom is, you could never get it through customs. It's like, you walk off the plane and walk right out the door. Like,
I know,
what
she got off way before everyone else without like drawing suspicion somehow.
Exactly. It's like somehow deplaned. Like, they all sat there for a half hour.
Yeah.
And she went and like did all this stuff, like had multiple conversations, met people just as they were getting off the plane, and was like, oh, have fun with your dog. Oh, I'm about to have this guy arrest you. And the guy that actually worked for Scotland Yard just stood behind her and let her do all the talking.
Scotland Yard wasn't even there yet. That was all Heathrow security.
Oh, was that just Heathrow?
Yeah.
Well, they let her do all the talking.
Oh my
and arrested people on her authority. It's like, you're the pilot captain of the ground, and we'll take your word, whatever you say.
Captain of the ground. One last thing with this fucking dog. So they are like, we're hiding him to go through customs because London, we're going to be in London for a month, and they have a 6-month quarantine for dogs. Now, I only know about this quarantine law because Johnny Depp's dogs, were famously not quarantined when they went to Australia. But it was 18 days or something like that you have to quarantine in Australia? But then Jessica, so they're like, well, I guess what we'll have to do is we'll just have to get off and then turn around and go back home because we can't leave our dog in a kennel. Jessica's like, hop on a plane over to Paris because they don't have those laws. So what the fuck, London versus Paris? Like, why is Paris like, bring your mangy animals?
Bring them on in. We're France. We don't care.
6 months?
That can't...
6-month quarantine?
Because that's the thing, because the woman was even like, we read it was 6 months, and the inspector was like, that's correct. He was like very sure to be like, yeah, I want to make sure your goddamn dog gets quarantined.
Jesus. Like, yeah, like a week. Like, okay, make sure he doesn't have any diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what it's for, right?
Yeah. Leave him in a fucking kennel. Like, it's whatever. You're stupid dog people.
Yeah. So I just thought that was funny, though. She's like, go to Paris. I'm like, okay.
And I like how, like, our hotel reservations, just buying another flight, that's not a problem.
No.
We're flying first class, so we're okay. We're cool.
We're fine. All right. Okay, so I think that's it.
He does, though, like, when he gets caught in Scotland Yard, he's very, like, does it with a smile. He's like, yeah, you got me. You bested me.
And he, like, tips his cap to
He
Jessica.
literally tips his non-existent cap to Jessica on his way out the door. Wordlessly, tip of the cap, and he walks off.
It's going to be a millionaire, but instead I'm going to jail. Well done, lady. Well done.
No, much respect to you, madam.
So weird.
And we do end it, as we often do, with the laughing shot of Jessica. She meets the producer who, like, tried to, like, make her rewrite his script on the plane, but, like, makes this dud of a joke. Literally, I think I just stole the pun, or the punchline. He's like, they're at customs, like, do you have anything to declare? Yeah, this script is a dud.
Because she says, she's like, oh, the themes and the imagery, it'll do great in those little art houses. And he's like, what?
Themes? Imagery? This is a dud. And then she laughed almost as hard as she laughed at the pain of those two stewardesses.
You know, simple pleasures.
Yeah, she
simple
really...
pleasures.
Oh, dumb poor people. Their lives are so mundane.
Oh my gosh.
I know we're running late. Do you want to play the game, or do you want to save it till next time?
We'll save it till next time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because we still have to add the cooking segment in here. So yeah, we'll play the game next time.
Yeah, and I'll win against myself again. Instead, I wanted to talk about every dental experience I've ever had.
Just
and
as
my
good.
thoughts on bombs on planes.
Just as good. All right, guys. That is it for the show. Just a couple quick things. Please leave us a pleasant review on iTunes, because that matters.
And we won't spend every episode talking about bombs on planes.
Yeah,
Unless you really like it, then we will.
If it's just like more planes on plane bomb talk, that was pretty good. Geopolitics, yes, please. We'll talk more. You let us know. You can follow us on Twitter at Murder We Spoke. And next episode that we'll cover in 2 weeks, or maybe a week, who knows? Probably going to be 2 weeks, so guys, heads up. I don't want to disappoint.
We have to work next Sunday.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's definitely going to be 2 weeks. We have a long weekend coming up. But we're going to cover from season 4, episode 7. It's episode 6 on Netflix, but it's season 4, episode 7, entitled "If It's Thursday, It Must Be Beverly."
Can't wait.
Which, again, picked it purely on the name.
Perfect.
But someone also recommended on Twitter, so I think it's going to be okay. All right, guys. Till then.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. We are here live on location.
On location.
In the Murder, She Wrote kitchen. We're trying, let's see, our first recipe out of the Murder, She Wrote cookbook. The sweet and sour meatballs. A recipe by Catherine Cressida, who was an actress on it. It just says actress. I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's nice. They put actor or crew. Okay.
Yeah. So
I would guess she's a regular, right?
I would hope so. We'll have to look it up. Which is maybe something we should have done with this, but whatever.
No.
So anyway, this might be a new segment on the show where we just make shit out of the Murder, She Wrote cookbook, which is just a collection of recipes from the cast and crew.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do, like as one of our listeners, Thomas McNabb, suggested. Is it just a bunch of recipes for murder?
Oh, clever.
Sadly, no, it's not.
No.
But today we're going to be trying live on the air. I just want to go through the recipe. None of the recipes in here are difficult in any way, shape, or form.
Most of them are either ground beef or mayonnaise based.
Or both. Or a lovely combination of both. Today we're going with ground beef. This recipe calls for 1 can of cranberry sauce.
Starting strong.
Very strong.
Did you already say what it was called?
Sweet and sour meatballs.
Yeah,
if I didn't.
First ingredient, cranberry juice.
Cranberry sauce.
Sorry.
Oh no, if only it was cranberry juice. That would almost make sense.
Oh, God.
1 can of tomato soup, undiluted. You want that diluted, condensed tomato soup.
Got it.
1/2 cup water. 2 pounds ground beef. 1/2 cup dry breadcrumbs. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. half cup ketchup.
Now, as someone who I enjoy meatballs,
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
And there just seems to be a lot of, I'm going to say red-based products.
I think that's the person is like, what canned red things can we get? And cranberry sauce and tomato soup top the list. I
don't even feel like I would know where to find cranberry sauce.
Like when it's not Thanksgiving.
Because I feel like I'm mostly, well, I'll be honest, Ben made these.
I followed the recipe to a T.
But where did you get the cranberry sauce? Because I'm only thinking of like relish, I think.
I got it. It's just the stuff when it comes out, it looks just like the can that you have at Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's the sauce.
They have like...
Because there's not any fresh cranberries in it, right?
Oh, God, no.
No, it just looks like can. Okay, and you can yeah, okay.
And it's... I mean, when it's not Thanksgiving, there are like on the bottom shelf 2 cans of it. Like it is the hardest thing in the world. It took me forever to find it.
And they've been there since Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
No one is eating this shit outside of Thanksgiving.
Oh, right.
I can guarantee you that. So basically, the sauce for the meatballs is you take the cranberry sauce and the tomato soup and you heat it up and boil it, and then you roll everything else, the beef, breadcrumbs, salt, and ketchup, into meatballs, and then you just drop it in the sauce.
Easy peasy.
Meatballs.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Does it smell?
I think it smells fine. It smells good.
It actually doesn't smell terrible. It smells a little tomato soupy, but it's got a strong tomato soup.
Yeah. Which I would have thought I don't know, Ben, I feel like I just see other thing. What is that? What did you say else was in here? Breadcrumbs? Maybe it's breadcrumbs. It's
because I made homemade breadcrumbs.
What?
Meaning I toasted bread and then kind of scraped it off into breadcrumbs. Because I couldn't find breadcrumbs in the store, and I remembered I had old bread.
Oh, they're so easy to find, and I highly recommend just keeping them on hand.
Like a panko. I used to have a panko breadcrumb all the time.
I get the Italian breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I ran out.
All right, here we go.
You first, so then there's just not dead air and people chewing. What's the verdict? It's not like patent disgust on your face, so that's good.
I feel like I just ate... Just kind of, to be honest, no offense.
It's not...
A bland hamburger in a weird sauce.
Catherine Cressida will be heartbroken.
I'm sorry, Catherine.
If that is indeed her name, I forgot.
I'm going to eat a second bite.
Okay.
But Ben, you go.
I'm going to go for one.
You have such a sad face. Oh,
I wanted it to be good.
Wait. Holy shit, there's like a weird aftertaste.
Oh, no.
It's like...
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, it's like hitting the back of my taste buds. It's like... Ugh. It's like what I would imagine licking a can of, like, the inside of a can of a tomato soup. Which tastes like that's what I feel like my mouth...
I was going to say can of dog food. Because...
Yeah, I'm not going to take a second bite.
When I put it, like, the scent that I got when I got the meat right up to my face and the sauce, it did smell exactly like when I'd pop a can of dog food for my dog back in the day.
Mm.
Like the
I was like, Ben, you don't have a dog.
The wet food?
Well, maybe...
It is like the meat has just got like a tiny bit of salt, breadcrumbs, and ketchup. That doesn't flavor meat.
Yeah.
It is super bland.
It's very, it's just kind of like bland.
No cranberry taste whatsoever. Like it's
surprising. Like what do they just need that for like thickness, I guess, or like...
I think because
I think it does add a tanginess.
It adds like because it's the sour and the sweet and sour.
Yeah,
it adds a little bit of sourness, but there's zero cranberry coming through whatsoever. Even though it's equal parts tomato soup and cranberry sauce.
Did you make 2 pounds of this?
Oh no, I cut the meat in half.
Oh, okay. I was like, because what are you going to do with the leftovers?
No, we're bringing this in. Marissa, unfortunately,
couldn't make it. Yeah,
she illness prevented her from being here, but she's definitely getting the leftovers tomorrow. She's not getting out of this.
No, we have. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what she thinks of it. Yeah, I was like, okay, that seemed pretty benign, but damn, that aftertaste is. Are you getting that? Do you like?
I think I got it.
You got it right off the bat.
I think I got like midway through because, like, you know that feeling when like you're like a tingle goes through your teeth.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like exactly what happened.
I got
it's
it
so
like
weird.
When I swallowed the sauce, but still had some of the meat in my mouth.
I think that's the cranberry.
That's what I got.
I think it's the
It went all through like the back of my mouth.
Yes.
Just zing, all the way through.
When you're eating something good, that's like a good feeling. You're like, oh, your taste buds are alive. Yeah. When you're eating just meat in a weird sauce, not what you want.
Bland meat in a weird sauce.
But now I know it. It probably would be like to just like lick the inside of a metal can that's had tomato.
Like, there's almost like a coppery, tinny...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, recipe number 1, not a success. We're going to keep trying.
Yep.
There's all kinds of good shit in here.
Make it
There's so many recipes in this
Listeners,
book.
we would love for you to play along.
Yeah, maybe the next recipe we do, we'll post. You guys can slap it together yourself. Just make sure you have plenty of mayonnaise in your house, because that will be a requirement.
I'm nervous for... Give them a teaser of...
The one I flipped through, like, I maybe looked at 5% of the recipes. Because, again, there's no shortage. The grossest sounding one I saw was called orange salad, which I'm, like, really into oranges in salads now.
It's true you are. I can attest to that.
Yeah, every time I order salad, there's going to be orange in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is going to be delicious. There are 3 ingredients in orange salad, you guys. Oranges, lots of minced garlic, and olive oil.
We're trying it, right?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Marinate overnight and very little olive oil, too, by the way. It's just garlic.
Maybe it'll surprise us. Or maybe our teeth will tingle again. I want to counter you and say I think mayonnaise and cheese on toast is grosser.
Oh.
Okay, that sounds kind of just like a sandwich. Don't be like, it's just mayonnaise, right?
No, yeah, the recipe is, I actually can remember because it is 4 ingredients. half a cup of sliced shredded cheddar cheese, half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese, maybe a whole cup of mayonnaise.
Oh, God.
And then once you're done dry heaving, toast like Ritz crackers. You mix the cheese and the mayonnaise together.
Mix it together?
Yeah.
Toast Ritz crackers?
Like Ritz cracker, like around a Ritz cracker.
Take a Ritz cracker.
And then you slop that on top, and then you toast it to get, that nice golden brown mayonnaise taste that everybody loves so much. And then that's a nice little appetizer for when you're throwing a dinner party.
I want to try it, but I legitimately think...
We're going to try it, so...
Well, tune in next time when it's just us vomiting on air.
It's just, you won't. That'll be the guess. Like, is it dry heaving or is it vomiting? You don't know. That's the guess. That's the guessing game we'll play. All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.